There we are. Happy Spirit. And the new moon, well, it's a little after, but we're in the month of Sagittarius, the power of miracles and wonders. So as the Kabbalists teach us, miracles are not created by God. They're created by us. And the only way they can be created by us is in the simple concept, of miracles. If you think of miracle as something supernatural, and we've come to understand, if you've been in the center for 5 minutes, you understand everything, as we're about to affirm, everything is consciousness, that everything we do comes back to us equally. So if you think about, if you want something beyond what you believe is your nature, or the nature of your world, if you're looking for more, you follow? And we'll get actually a little aspect of that today. But if you're looking for more, the universe cannot bring it to you unless you do the same thing. So basically all of Kabbalah, as we'll hear another aspect of it today, all of the wisdom of Kabbalah is about how do you transcend, supersede your current nature. So if you're kind, how can you be kinder? Like we'll see with our affirmation, right? If you're nice, how can you be nicer? That's the idea. So when you do something relative to you, let's say, every now and then somebody has looked at you probably in the past and said, wow, I couldn't believe that was you. It was like so miraculous, the thing you did. You follow? So when we can see that about ourselves, when we can do something that in our frame would be miraculous behavior, forgiving the nasty person or whatever it may be, that's when the universe then is allowed to bring us something that we would consider supernatural as a manifestation in our life. So there's no such thing as the Creator creating miracles. It's all in our hands. So let's start with our affirmation. Those of you here, you can see it. Those of you online, here we go. Okay, our affirmation. Consciousness is everything. I raise my consciousness today to see the miracles and wonders of life. I commit myself to behave with greater love, compassion, and kindness towards all human beings. The more we're going to inject that, engrave that in our heart and soul, the more we'll be able to do it. And so I hope today we'll have a little bit more motivation and understanding how we are capable to do that. But let's just start out with a simple thought. You read in the Bible, right? And those of you who are new, the Bible is true. The Kabbalists teach the 5 books of Moses is also historical fact. Now, just quickly on the side, what we consider a time or a sequence of time may not quite be similar in the Bible, but there were Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and there were those people, and they did those things. But as we remind ourselves, they were showing us what the technology of the universe is, basically what we'd say Kabbalah. They were showing us how the Kabbalistic wisdom can be applied on a daily basis in various situations in our life. And so that's what we want to learn from them. So you start in the Bible, very simple. Where did Adam and Eve live? The Garden of Eden. So the earth was created as the Garden of Eden. Paradise. Whatever your perfect temperature is, that's what it was. Whatever the perfect environment, that's what it was. It was just beautiful. It supplied us with everything we needed. We were content. Like you do. Have you ever been out? Sometimes you'll go out into a garden. Some people will go visit a rose garden or something with nature or whatever, and you just feel at peace. That's the Garden of Eden. That's the way the world was created. So then you and I have a question to ask. Where did it go? Where did it go? Because I don't know about you, but I don't think many people on earth see this world as they see it today as the Garden of Eden. Do you? So let's ask. Now, the Kabbalists will tell us it didn't go anywhere. It's still here. But now, let's go deep. And you pay attention to this because I'll bring in a few concepts I don't think we mentioned before. But to understand, if the Garden of Eden is here, how come we're not living in it? Or why don't we see it? So let me ask you this. Have you ever felt, whether it's in a current situation or something in your past, have you ever felt a situation was just hopeless? Nothing to do. There's no way you could solve it. It's just overwhelming. There's no solution. Could never happen. Can't be. Nothing's going to change. It's always going to be like this, etc. Right? Think of those situations when you felt like that. Or there's one that's a little less than that, but we'll see how it's similar. Whether it's before Kabbalah or probably particularly more often since Kabbalah. You have that thought in your head, I know I should share, whatever that means. I should be kinder, I should be nicer, I should be more generous, more compassionate, more forgiving. I know I should, but I don't feel like it. Or, you know what, but if I share, if I forgive, not going to change anything anyway. Maybe if I forgive that person, they're going to do something again to me because they think I'm telling them that it's okay, things like that. You ever had that? Where you know it'd be a good thing for you to share in some form, but you don't do it. For whatever reason. I'll wait till tomorrow, not now. You give yourself all the good reasons, but the bottom line is you're not sharing. You ever had those situations? Yeah, probably those are a little more often. Although the first one, probably coming to a lot more people in these last 4 or 5 years when they look at the world. Imagine, you go out to people, if you were just to walk out on the street, let's say in a mall, and you were to just ask 100 people, the first 100 people you stop, do you think it's possible in the next few years to have peace on earth, harmony among all people? How many people do you think would say, of course we can? Versus out of the 100, how many are going to say, no way, you see what's going on around the world, right? That's basically our first situation we brought up. Don't see, hopeless, helpless, discouraged. Okay, now, what's the common factor in both those situations? 2 things. One is people aren't seeing the light. People aren't seeing the light. The light's hidden from their view. In those moments, in those experiences, in those situations, they are not seeing the bright light. Because as we'll come to understand, if we saw the bright light, we'd behave very differently. The second part is, it's a way or a means for a person to stay in their chaos. I mean, think about it. If a person, well, one, obviously, if they're feeling hopeless and overwhelmed and there's no answer, no solution, they're in chaos. And if they can't see the light to do something to change it, is that going to take them out of their chaos? No, they'll still be in chaos. They'll still feel bad. They'll still have all the discouragement in life. Even the second one, they know they should share, which means what? They know they can improve their life by some form of sharing, but then there's one reason or another they're not going to share. So then they're still going to feel bad. They're still going to have some chaos. They're still going to have difficulty in life. They're still going to be in the same set of situations because they didn't change anything. And the universe, as we began with, universe isn't going to change anything in our life unless we change ourselves. Because like will attract like. What we put out in the cosmos will come back to us equally. So if a person puts discouragement out, they'll have all the reasons to be discouraged. If a person's delaying their sharing their light, then the universe has to delay bringing the result, the manifestation of their light back to them. But, as the Kabbalists have offered us, it's our free will. You can decide to stay that way or not. Nobody can tell you you have to change. The only person really who ultimately will tell you you have to change is yourself. You know the old saying, when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you'll change. So the only one who can do that is you. Up to that point, you have free will. Stay in your chaos, get out of your chaos. Stay with all the discord or change it. Your choice, because your life is based on you, not them. My life is based on me, not you, not anybody else. The power of the Kabbalah Center is to bring like-minded people together with this technology of the soul. Not a particular religion or philosophy or theology or whatever. This is the technology of the soul. And since everybody has a soul that's of the same material, then this technology will work for everybody. Once you go past that, it may not. Even among, let's say among plumbers. Do you think every plumber who looks at a problem in somebody's house will come up with the exact identical way to fix it? I'm sure along the way, some yes, and I'm sure some situations no. Right? So when you go to the soul, the system, the operating system is identical. That's all we're teaching here. How you apply it, how you use it, your particular circumstances is unique to you. It's unique to you. Now, the Creator's light, how big is it? It's infinite. If the Creator's light is infinite, then where does the light hide? Where does it go to go away from us? Can't. Doesn't go anywhere. The light is infinite, the light is everywhere present, and the light contains all the solutions. So whatever challenge, whatever difficulty, whatever choice we have to make, whatever decision, and we're not sure what to do, the light is there in that situation, because there's light inside each and every one of us. The issue is, are we accessing the light or not? Or are we still looking on the outside? So, our soul contains already the energy, the material of absolute complete bliss. It's inside of us waiting to be expressed out into the world. What's the purpose of life? Have eternal bliss. That's it. If the Creator's energy is eternal bliss, and the Creator created each and every one of us, then the essence of our being is to have eternal bliss. Complete and absolute joy, happiness, peace, all the good blessings forever. That's it. So how come we don't see it? Because the way to manifest, to experience eternal bliss is taking the light that's inside you and express it out into the world. Like your flashlight. If you're in a dark room and you have a flashlight in your hand, do you leave it off and then ask God to turn on some light so you can see your way? Probably not. Do you take the flashlight and say, well, I know there's light in the flashlight, it's just not turned on now, so I will meditate or pray that the flashlight will go on? Do you do that? No. What do you do with your flashlight? You physically turn on the on switch, which makes the potential light shine now, physically manifest. Now you have a beam of light. Now here's the other part. Do you take the flashlight and shine it in your eyes because you want to be able to see something in the dark? No, because if you shine the flashlight in your eyes in a dark room, you'll be even more blinded. You won't be able to see. Where do you shine the flashlight? Outward. Where you want the illumination, where you want the darkness to go away, that's where you shine your light of the flashlight once you turn it on. So if our soul is filled with light, where do you shine your light to have your blessings, to experience your blessings? You can't say, I'll shine it inside me. It's already there. You got to shine it out. That's all we're learning in the center, how to shine your light outward. Because as you do that, the light will be revealed, like with a flashlight, the darkness will go away, and you'll start to have clarity. You'll start to understand. So, go back to the Garden of Eden. Because what happened then is the same thing happening today. How many of you could say you have some good in your life? Okay, so let's just start with that. So that's some good, right? Just sort of metaphorically, is the Garden of Eden. Okay, you're in the Garden of Eden, etc. Now, what happened back then? Simple story. Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and the bottom line is they're looking at two trees. The tree of knowledge, good and evil, and the tree of life. In our terms, what is that? The choice to choose instant gratification, short-term fulfillment, or make a little extra effort, tree of life, extend our light, and have lasting fulfillment. That's the choice they had. We think, okay, 2 trees, the fruit, the apple, whatever you want to say. No. What the Kabbalists explained, they were choosing between what we say reactive behavior, which is instant gratification, or restriction, proactivity, where we extend ourselves to shine more light, greater love, compassion, and kindness out into the world so our world is brighter. That's the choice. They had the choice, we have the choices. So as the Bible says, which did we, because you and I, if you've been in the center more than, let's say, 10 minutes, you know that Adam and Eve are us. There's no them. It was us. So which choice did we make? We chose the tree of knowledge, good and evil. And the very name is telling us it was the illusion. Good and bad. Up and down. Healthy, sick. Prosperous, poverty. All those ups and downs. That's what we chose. And so what happened to the Garden of Eden? So when the Bible says they were thrown out, we would say in simple terms, a big curtain came down and hid the Garden of Eden from our view. If I were to pull a curtain, okay, for you online, if I do this, you can't see me, I pull a curtain. But I didn't disappear from your view. So it's only from our point of view that the Garden of Eden disappeared. But it's still here. And why did it disappear? Because our reactive behavior pulled a curtain. When we gave in to instant gratification, when we didn't want to extend ourselves to share more light, we just left dark. You walk into your room, it's your room in your house, there's just a little tiny bit of light on, right? But you can't see, there's not enough light to see what you're looking for. So you have 2 choices, fumble around in the dark, or what would be the more practical, efficient thing to do? Turn on a little more light. The brighter the light, more darkness goes away, greater clarity. You see better. The more light you turn on, the easier it is to go find what you're looking for. So why is that different in our life? If you're having questions, if you're a little confused about what decision to make, which way to go, what to do, turn on brighter light. It'll be greater clarity. That's all. That's all. Now, where can the light be hidden in our life? So I want to, okay, so let's think of it this way. Okay. Inside of us, how much light do we have? 100%. Let's say you and I, we came into this world in this lifetime, okay, whether you believe in reincarnation or not, let's just say, however you want to understand it, person came into this lifetime, let's say you and I, and we came in already 60% of our potential. So we're revealing 60% of our light. Not bad. So we have 60% of our health, happiness, prosperity, good relationships, peace of mind, and protection. We have 60%. For most people, we would be considered good people, nice people, kind people, giving people, right? But what's the issue? 40% is still missing. We're not experiencing 40% of our God-given good. That's already ours. It's not we have to get it, we have to create it, we have to make it come out of nowhere. It's already inside of us just waiting to come out. So where is that 40%? Your 40%. Where is it? This is the key. It's hiding. Not because it ran away, because we pulled a curtain to hide it. Where? In your jealousy, your fear, your greed, your sense of poverty, lack, and limitation, your judgment, your guilt, your shame. Things like that. That's where your 40% is hiding. So as long as a person avoids dealing with uncomfortable situations, quote, their darkness, they're going to stay at 60. So like we said, and Rav Ashlag, the founder of the center, 100 years ago this year, he wrote a book called And You Shall Choose Life. And he explains basically when a person feels helpless and hopeless, like we said, that first situation where they just don't see any way out, he calls it double concealment. Double concealment, meaning they don't see any light at all. They, in that moment, in that way, don't even believe there's light. So that's why it's like completely hopeless in that moment. The other situation where we know what we should do, we know we should be sharing, but we don't feel like it, we have the excuse it's not going to work, wait till tomorrow, when the kids grow up, when I retire, blah, 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 all those things, he calls that single concealment. Because on one hand, we have a 60%, let's call it, just for this example, 60% understanding that there is light, there is good already out there, but that 40% is pushing the delay. Not now, maybe it won't work, I'm not ready, I don't feel like doing it, all the excuses why not to do it now. Single concealment. So at least the Creator's not completely concealed, but our sharing action is hidden from us because it's been delayed. Is everyone getting that? I hope so. Okay? Okay. So now, how are we going to get it? What do we do to get our 40%? And this is what makes Kabbalah, one, the most powerful and clear spiritual wisdom on earth, but also the most difficult. Because there's absolutely no opening, no teaching, no excuse, no validation to pointing your finger in any way, shape, or form outside of you. Not for good, not for bad. We all do it. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it either, but the moment we say, you know what, they made me feel bad. They made me do that negative action. The moment anything, we're off the Kabbalah path. Because all my light is inside me. I just need to extend it out. Like the flashlight. I'm in the dark holding the flashlight. I don't call out, hey, turn on the light, someone come help me. I have the flashlight right with me. All I have to do is turn it on and shine it out. So be aware. Look back yesterday, maybe even this morning, or some of you around the world, it was already earlier in the day because you're at 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Look back and see how many times you can see in these last 24 hours. You thought or said something like, they this and they that. They made me feel bad. They made me feel hopeless. If they will change, I will have a better life. That's also an illusion because it'll never happen. Not that they might not change. Sometimes people around us will change and we're still feeling the same because it doesn't make us any happier because now we have another thought of something else. Why? Because that curtain is still there. It wasn't about they're doing something for me. Instant gratification. Give me what I want. How can I prove that to you? Simple. I'm sure every one of us have gone shopping, in the excitement of the moment, bought something you thought was going to make you feel great. You bought it, you felt great, and by the next day, you say, what in the world did I do? And you want to go back to the store to return it. So how long was the gratification? Short term, but instant. And then it all went away. Why? Because it was the effort of getting that whatever widget will make me feel better. Yeah, for 5 minutes, not long term. Because it wasn't my light. It wasn't the extension of my light. And we did it. Maybe after the fact I'll tell you. Okay, I'll try and tell you quick. Long story short, before I came to the center, but I was involved in other spiritual teachings, not quite these details for sure. But something happened that disappointed me. I wanted to buy a house, couldn't buy a house for whatever reason, back then it was, and it was even like 1,000 times cheaper than now, but I couldn't buy it. I was just starting out in my career, blah, 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 and I couldn't. So I was so upset. I wanted to go out and buy a new car. I figured, buy a new car. I was so disappointed about not getting this condo. Fortunately for me, I didn't do it. Then when I came to Kabbalah, I realized, okay, I still had that sense of a lack because I hadn't bought that piece of property, but I was glad I didn't buy the car. Because now as you understand it, what would I would have bought the car, would have had great, wonderful, and then I would have been upset myself. Why did I pay so much money for the car? I should have saved some of that so I could buy something later on, like that. But we all do things like that. So now, how are we going to get our 40%? So here's a few ways. And remember, we're talking about experiencing lasting blessings, not just short term. So here's a couple examples. You've got to step into your darkness and then embrace stepping into your darkness and then act like the light. Like you want to see something in that dark room, you got to walk into the dark room, then turn on the flashlight or turn on the room light. So you embrace the challenge of feeling angry, but then you express and act with the light of forgiveness. So you walked into the dark, you turn on the light. Forgiveness is the light to remove anger. You embrace the challenge of jealousy. You're jealous about something, it's making you feel, grumbling inside like this. No, pause, express and act with the light of gratitude. Happy for their good, start being more grateful for all the blessings and the things in your life. Because gratitude is the antidote, the eraser of darkness, of jealousy. Embrace the challenge of a lack consciousness. Don't have enough money. I can't give. I can't help. Don't have enough. I'm on fixed income. Whatever that lack is, step into that darkness. Act and express the light of knowing that your prosperity, your abundance has already been given to you. It just has to come out. And the simplest thing, and go on Kabbalah.com or write to your teacher or write to me, I'll explain it in more detail. But the fundamental, which you'll see in any religion and any spirituality, walk into that darkness and go give tithing. 10% of whatever comes to you. You get a paycheck, they take out the taxes, whatever comes to your pocket, you go give 10%. Show that you know that your abundance comes from within, not from the outside. And that's why everybody who ever talks about tithing will tell you, tithing is the key to prosperity. The fundamental rule of prosperity. Give that 10%. Like we said, give the gratitude for all the blessings in your life. How many of you ever had the experience of taking things or people for granted and either losing it or almost losing it until you woke up to have that greater sense of gratitude? Ever happened to you in some way or another? Okay, that's what we're talking about. So what we'd like to do, voluntarily walk into the darkness. Because I know that's where my light is hiding. The 40% I don't have, or the whatever part we're missing, is hiding in those situations. So you've got to walk into them. Walk into the darkness, start expressing the light of your soul. Remembering that the Creator already put 100% light inside of you. But it's only potential. It gives you the feeling you should have more, because you do. It gives you the vision of what you could be doing, what you could have in those ways, because you have it. But our job is to make it manifest. What's an artist? If you talk about, those simple, an artist who draws paintings. They have a vision, don't they? Do they draw and then have the vision? No, they have a vision of what they want to paint, and then they go make it manifest. You and I, we have a vision of what we want to do, become, etc., even in the moment, and then we go do it. So the potential is already inside of us because the Creator put it there. Our work and what the center teaches is how to go outside and do it. Now, sounds easy, right? All you have to do, walk in the darkness, turn on the light. Sounds easy. You do it in your house all the time. You walk into the dark room, flip the switch. Light goes on, darkness goes away. We're so used to it. Flashlight, whatever. You light a match. You watch the movies. They are out treasure hunting. They get in the dark tunnel. What do? They light a torch, right? So the light illuminates their pathway. Very easy. No, what's the issue in us? And let's go back to the single concealment. You remember that one? I know I should share, but I have all the excuses why not to do it now. Key is motivation. You ever had a burning desire to do something, have something? Even as we might call it in a reactive way. Right now, let's just talk about the burning desire. Think the last time you had really a strong desire, a craving for something, whatever it was. What obstacle stopped you from going for it? Then you didn't have a burning desire. When we have a burning desire, nothing stops us. Nothing. You have a little desire, sure, things will get in the way. But when you have that true desire, nothing will stop you. Can I give you this example? Do I have your permission? Okay. Do I have your permission? Okay. Laziness. It's one of my favorites. So often people will judge, and again, we're taking it in our way of understanding. People look at somebody, lost their job, whatever it is, and now you see they're just sitting on the couch all day. Right? And people will tend to judge them and say, oh, look, they're lazy. They're not out looking for a job. They're not out doing this, the other thing, da-da-da-da-da. I want to show you there's no such thing. Yes, the way we might think about it, but I want to explain it spiritually, Kabbalistically. The Creator created us with a desire, filled our soul with light, and gave us an inherent 100% desire for 100% fulfillment. Like we talked about the two trees, instant gratification is also a desire for fulfillment, isn't it? I want to be fulfilled, okay. But a person not taking the time to make sure they're getting it from the light for lasting fulfillment, they're just getting it from the situation by taking. And that's why they bought the item, and the next day they wanted to give it back and return it. But they got gratification, so it still came from the desire to have fulfillment, just in the wrong way. So this person sitting on the couch, and maybe their family's kind of nudging them a little bit, it's time to go out there, jobs are be opening up, you should go, do, whatever like this, and they're still on the couch. Okay, and I'm not excusing it, but I want us to understand that the way we usually look at it, there's no such thing as laziness in that way. Think about what's going on in the mind of that person. Either inside them, there's an inherent push from our soul to go out and express, manifest all our light, because our soul wants us to have 100% fulfillment, right? But the person is not going out. What do you think has to be going on in their mind? How hard do you think they have to work to give themselves the excuse why they're not going to go out looking for a job or whatever it might be? That's a lot of work. You may not see it, but in their mind, they're giving themselves all the justification. There's no jobs, they're old, they don't know, there's so much new high tech and this, all the excuses. That's all I want you to understand. That's a lot of work. If they used it in a proactive way, shining it out, they could be very successful, but they're using it in a negative way. Here we'll go to a very extreme. A drug addict who has such a burning desire, craving for the drugs, they'll go steal from their family, they'll go break into houses. Nothing in essence will stop them from doing what they need to do to get those drugs. Forget the fact that it's destructive as it manifests, right? And I'm not endorsing it, but what do you think, what kind of craving does that person have for fulfillment? Yes, short circuit, temporary. But what kind of craving? Huge! The Kabbalists would say, no. You do not want to take away their desire for fulfillment. You just want to alter, help them to switch the focus, the object of fulfillment from the drugs to the light. As we'll see, if a person had that kind of craving for the light, nothing would stop them from sharing. You'd never say, I don't have enough money to give tithing. I don't have enough forgiveness to give this person forgiveness. I don't want to wait till tomorrow. No. Desire, motivation is the key. When you have that desire for the light, in fact, we learn here the only reason we came to this world, share our light. But the system is called Kabbalah, how to receive. So it looked contradictory. So the Rav and Karen, my teachers, our teachers, taught me for 35 years. The reason why this system of our soul is called Kabbalah, to receive, is because, like we just said, what Kabbalah is teaching us is how to shift our driving force, our motivation, from the physical material things to the light of the Creator. That's why. Strengthen our desire for the light, because the light is the only source of lasting fulfillment. You buy that outfit, next day you're returning it. You buy the car, 6 months later there's another car. You buy the new phone, you walk out of the store, suddenly there's 3 models ahead of you, you're now looking for the next one. All those things, because we're looking for the material physicality to bring us fulfillment. We're not looking for the light. So like we said, if we're at 60, 40%, we're looking for the physical world to bring us fulfillment. If they do what I want, if I get that thing, I get the promotion, I find my soulmate or whatever it is, we're looking for the things outside. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. So you and I need to start waking up and raising the value of the light. Because the more valuable the light is for us, the easier it will be to overcome these aspects we call concealment. So let me give you some ideas along that line. I hope you're getting the idea. The stronger you want the light, the more valuable it is. Let's put it this way. Go back to when you went to the, or I'll tell you me, there I was with I wanted to buy the car because I didn't get the house, right? And I feel a little lack. So I want to fulfill the lack. I'm going to fill the lack by buying the car. Fortunately for me, even in that time, it wasn't quite on the full frame of the light I must share with you, but you'll get the idea. Something inside me was saying no. The value of the $25,000 in my pocket, instead of buying that brand new first model car, the value of the money in my pocket was greater than what I thought I would get by buying the car. So I didn't buy the car. Think about when you go shopping. That's really the judgment you're making. Is the money in your pocket going to bring you more happiness than what you think buying that item, whatever it is, will bring you? If you think that having the item will bring you more happiness than the money, you buy the item. When you think the money will bring you more happiness to keep for the next thing or whatever it is, then you won't buy the item. It's simply that. Which is worth more? So which is worth more? The light or that physical material instant gratification? The anger, the judgment, the greed, the ego, the insecurity, the guilt, or the shame? Because those are comforting. Even though they're not always comfortable, but they are very comforting. I have justification why I'm upset, because they did what they did. Meanwhile, I'm holding the negativity, right? People have justification, why to be jealous of them, why to be angry at them, why to have guilt and shame. Meanwhile, they're not doing anything to change it. They're still in the dark. Why? Because the value of their instant gratification, their justification and victimization, more valuable than the effort to share their light. That's it. Which is more valuable? That's all we have to ask ourselves. So as we raise the value of the light in our life, we will do more because we will have a natural craving. So be willing to step into the darkness and break the cycle of negativity. Remove the curtain by turning on the light. That's us. More light, less chaos. More light, more fulfillment, lasting fulfillment. More light we're shining, more we get the right things. Just a quick idea, Edison, we've talked about it, and we're not judging him, but just the idea. He made 10,000 experiments to find tungsten to make the light bulb work. wouldn't it have been better, and I'm not, again, saying about him, but the concept, wouldn't it have been better if he could have just understood tungsten was the answer, and then he could have skipped 9,999 experiments? So you and I have to look back on our life and say, how many times do we have to feel the same kind of guilt, fear, anger, judgment, resentment, all those things, until we realize, wait a second, I'm learning in the Kabbalah Center, no, the light is the source of lasting fulfillment. So why am I doing all these tests? Oh, I'll try it again, right? Because this situation is different than the last one. Used to be in this career, change careers. Yeah, but if you don't change, you'll find the same terrible boss, the same terrible customers, the same terrible situation. You say, oh, used to date a blonde, now I'm going to date a brunette. Right? Different. No, you find the same person, just in a different body. How many of those do you have to have? A test and a test and a test. Till you 10,000, you find, oh, wake up. Oh, it's all about the light. You and I are learning Kabbalah in the center, so we can cut that down. Okay, maybe we have to do 3 or 4, but we don't have to do another 1,000. We can speed up the process. That's what the teaching here is about. Speed it up. Speed it up. The faster you raise the value of the light, the faster you will go to the proactive sharing. Turn on the real light from inside you out. Anytime you're looking from the outside in, reactive won't work. From the inside out, that's why it has to be, as we often call it, uncomfortable sharing. I didn't want to forgive, but I will forgive. So now we're switching it to what Rav Ashlag calls it single, or let's say partial revelation. The first level of revelation. I know I should share. I don't feel like doing it. But now in our terms today, but I understand, I know that the light is so valuable, I'm not going to put it off another second. I'm going to call the person and apologize. I'm going to forgive that person even in my own heart. Right? I'm going to go give my tithing. I'm going to go be kinder, nicer, more humble, more caring, more forgiving, more compassionate. Because I know the value of the light. That's the beginning of the revelation. And then we can keep it growing and growing and growing. So I want to leave you with this idea. I had a student not long ago who was explaining to me how his wife was an ogre. Now, you can make that any person you want. It could be a husband-wife, boyfriend-girlfriend, could be employee-employer, whatever you want, friends, it could be anything. The wife was an ogre. So he's thinking, been long enough, the relationship over. Fortunately, he's a student in the center. So what does he start to do? He starts to, like we were talking about. He comes to realize, one, and he's had enough miracles to keep upping the value of the light. So he says, let's pause, and like we're learning today, step in the darkness, which for him was what? Instead of being resentful, just start sending our light, even just from his own heart. Shine light out. Because if you shine even a little bit more light out of your heart and soul out to the world, or out to those people that you're having issues with, your life is more illuminated. You went from 60 to 65. Brighter light. Now you look at your business, 65% instead of 60. Fulfillment, success, unity, teamwork, whatever. Protection, 65% instead of only 60. Prosperity, 65 instead of 60. Every time you up the light going out of you, your whole life goes up equally. So he starts sending her light, One, first thing, he starts to feel less and less upset, less and less resentful. Keep sending light, upping him. So let's say from 65 to 70, you get the idea like that. What happens? He's feeling more at peace. He's feeling more content. He's still thinking, should he or shouldn't he stay? But he's continuing sending light. Because again, what we put in the cosmos will come back to us. So he's sending light. And fortunately for them, because they're very nice people, one day she just comes home and she says, honey, I've realized that I've been acting, we'll call it, as an ogre. been saying this and doing this and this and this and this, and I just want to apologize because I love you so much. Miraculous? Most of us would say, but like we said in the beginning, he acted beyond his nature. His nature was resentment, 40%, and that could have been enough, had he done nothing else, to split the relationship. But because he was willing to go into the darkness and shine more light, it came out better. Because now that she's changed also, imagine what that relationship did. Exponential growth. So we can do it in a business. We can do it with a friendship. We can do it with our health. We can do it with our prosperity. We can do it with our protection. We can do it in every way, shape, or form. So whatever your ogre is, health, business, relationship, wherever you feel you're not seeing any light or very little light, pause. Remember that only the light of the Creator exists. Only the light of the Creator exists because it's infinite. And then it exists not only in you, it exists in them also, and exists in every situation in the world. The light of the Creator is everywhere. Take an action. Start emanating more light from your heart and soul. One, it breaks the shells of your heart. You're less cold-hearted, hard-hearted, stone-hearted, etc. The clouds of darkness will start to disappear from your eyes, lifting up the veil. More light coming through. Brighter. The light of the Creator, zillion times brighter than the light of the sun. And as you turn on that light, those clouds of darkness start to disappear. You're no longer in the fog. You're no longer in the haze of the illusion of the negativity of the chaos. And as those clouds of darkness go away and you have a greater sense of peace and harmony, you'll actually find yourself living more and more in your Garden of Eden. God bless. Thank you. So, for those of you here and those of you around who are watching us online, I want to thank you, one, for joining. Oh, whoops, let me just put that here. And just a couple words of encouragement. Go online. I know a lot of you are doing it, but if there's 400 or 500 of you watching, even if 300 out of 500 went online and just shared today's video, so there's 300 going out there, even if 30 new people were attracted to it and gained something and made their lives better, those 30 people affecting 10 people, that's 300. Those 300 affecting another 10 is 3,000. We'll be changing the world. And also, in case you don't know, or also as a support, there's a YouTube channel for Spiritual Sunday also. So if you have friends who are on YouTube and they don't do Facebook, encourage them to go watch there, because I got hundreds of videos over there also. So let them just subscribe there. Again, more subscribers. Now I know a little bit of the technology. It means more people will be suggested to go to the Spiritual Sunday when they're looking up, a subject, spiritual subject or happiness or something like that. So I also want to thank you, as we're about to do, for your generosity. And I encourage you to increase it, because it goes to the projects of the center. It helps grow Spiritual Sunday and just gives us an ability to speed up the process. Those of you who've been around, you know that ultimately the purpose of the center is spreading these books of the Zohar, because they literally just shine the light of the Creator, period. The infinite light of God. So we don't have a lack of the technology. In other words, we know printing, so we can print the books. We know the book shines light, so we're not looking for a way to remove the darkness. We have the way. We just literally need the support to be able to print and spread enough books that the clouds of darkness disappear completely. And when everybody is in the light with no darkness, do you think they'll ever have a thought to be angry, resentful, jealous, violent, thievery? No. They'll be the opposite. Everybody will see how clear, with great clarity, that if they give their tithing, 10 times come back to them. If they forgive people, 10 times the blessing. If they're kinder and nicer, health, prosperity, relationship, everything gets better. and everyone will just go right into paying back their spiritual debt. That's what's called the Messiah. It's not just people or a person. Messiah is when there's no more dark clouds in the universe, and everybody sees that sharing and acting like the Creator, one, is the only thing we came here to do, and is the only way that we'll all have lasting fulfillment and everyone will live in peace and harmony. So your support helps us to speed that up. It's just that simple. Just that simple. And I also want you to know, for all your donations, and hopefully you've gotten the email. If you're not subscribed to the email list from Kabbalah, the Kabbalah Center, Kabbalah.com, please go and at least be made aware of all the different programs and all the different classes and things that are going on. But from last Tuesday through the end of the year, all your donations, because we have quite a number of generous donors who keep funding, a matching fund, let's call it. So your donations until the end of the year are being doubled. So if you're used to giving $10, so give 20. Your 20 becomes 40 because there are people out there who've matched it. So whatever you've been giving during this time, and especially because we know this time in particular, the month of Sagittarius, which includes Christmas, Hanukkah, many holidays, etc., is the time of giving. So the more we will be more generous, one, the universe can be more generous to us, but the faster we will remove all the pain and suffering. We'll remove all the negative behavior. And every one of us will benefit from that. Because how many of us have ever had the thought, heaven forbid, you forgot to lock your door. Why is that a big deal? Because you're worried, heaven forbid, someone will come steal. But if there's no clouds of darkness, and every thief realizes every dollar they stole, they lost 10, they're never going to steal again. So you could leave your door wide open. You could leave a gold bar in front of your door. Nobody's going to steal it when everybody sees the benefit of sharing. So it's to our own benefit to make sure there's no thieves, no violent people, no judgmental people, no jealous people, etc., including us. Our 40%, let's get our 40%. All right? Okay, so let's take a few moments just to bless the offering. Those of you here, those of you online. Yes, and I'll put it again in case you can't see it. This is where you'll go to give for Spiritual Sunday, in appreciation for what you get. So we know money is a vessel. So just hold the money in your hands, filling it with light, love, gratitude. Being more grateful for all the blessings in your life, all the good things that you have, and grateful for this wisdom that's helping us all to raise our consciousness, to have strength, clarity, and greater motivation and support to share beyond where we are today to our next level up with greater clarity, that it removes our darkness, removes our chaos, and manifests more of our blessings. And we know, as we share this gift, this offering out into the world through the center, to elevate consciousness, to spread the Zohar, that it brings us back many, many times over blessings of health, prosperity, peace, love, and serenity. Together we say, Amen. So let's also take a moment here, as we do every Sunday. Let me make sure you see it here. One of our 72 names, Hey Resh Yud. And for those of you who are newer, the Hebrew Aramaic letters are primordial particles of the light of the Creator. They just shine light. So don't worry about the letters, if it says anything, if it means anything. The idea is awakening the light inside you through just looking at it, scanning. Eyes are the window to the soul. The light is shining out of the Hey Resh Yud to allow us to see light where we hadn't seen it up to this point. Hey Resh Yud. So just let the shapes be engraved in your mind's eye, the names He, Resh, Yud. And just by the way, this is one of a couple of them that you might be familiar with from other spiritual teachings, because we all know that Kabbalah, the Zohar, is the blueprint of the soul, of the universe. So that means Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, all the isms out there come from Kabbalah. So this one might be familiar to some of you, because if you tried to pronounce He, Resh, Yud, you could call it Hari, as in Hari Krishna. So again, just to understand that this is the original source of all spiritual teachings, all religious teachings, and ultimately all forms of science. So here's just one example. Hey, Resh, Yud. Okay, so if I can ask you to sit comfortably in your chair, feet flat on the floor, hands comfortably in your lap. Taking a few deep breaths, breathing in through the nose. Hold the breath for a moment to let the light spread from head to toe. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Hold the breath a moment. Exhale through the mouth. Letting the breath of light, the breath of life circulate through you. Allowing yourself to relax. Just to feel a greater sense of peace as you're filling yourself with the light of the breath of life. Inhaling more of that breath, life, light, and exhaling whatever has been blocking you, stress, tension of whatever form. Opening up more of the channel, of the pipeline that you were created to be. Stronger flow of light through you and out into the world. Now I ask you to envision above your head, He, Resh, Yud. The light force particles that channel light from the endless world. Through them, that combine together, they radiate the light to allow us to have foresight, to have clarity that the light is infinite. The light does exist everywhere we are, in every situation. That there is no reality, eternal existence to darkness. That it's only, darkness is only where we have not turned on the light. And so let's allow this combination, He, Resh, Yud, to enter through the top of your head. That it clears out the cobwebs in the brain. It focuses your intention to draw thoughts only from the light of your soul, the pure, infinite light of the Creator. And allow that energy, the light of the He, Resh, Yud, to continue moving from the head through your body, illuminating all the spiritual parts within you, all the aspects of your soul from head to toe. Allow yourself to feel this awakening of light, this higher vibration of love, peace, forgiveness, joy, unity, happiness. Be consciously more aware of how much light is inside you that you didn't know a few moments ago. Let that awareness raise the value, the desire, the craving for more and more of that light. And now as we settle the Hey Ray Shud in our heart, let's extend a beam of light, that pure light of the Creator of unconditional love, peace, unity. Shine it out directly to the heart of all your family and friends. Then extend it out to whomever, currently or past. Extend it to the heart of everybody, anybody that you've ever had any form of discord with. Removing the blockage from within you that allows more blessings to show up in your life. Also, see it as awakening the pure light of the Creator in their hearts. That they also have an awakening, a greater sensation of that pure light in them, removing the concealment of the light simultaneously from you and from them. And let's together shine it now out from them to every person on earth, directly to their hearts. That every person on earth right now is having an awakening. That the thought of the Creator inside them is stronger than the thought of the opponent, the negativity. That each person is now taking one greater action of love, compassion, kindness, generosity, forgiveness, apology towards somebody in their life. 8 billion new sparks of light being awakened in the world. Allow that picture, that vision, to be extremely clear in your mind's eye. Engrave it in your mind's eye, in your heart, in your soul, with the memory of this elevation and the ability that you have to keep raising that vibration of light inside you and extending it out, manifesting greater blessings, greater peace, Together we'll anchor this into our heart and soul, taking one more deep breath. Hold it for a moment and slowly exhale and open your eyes. Those of you online, thank you for joining us. Those of you here, thank you. Please let other people know what we're doing here, not only on Spiritual Sunday, but the center itself. Share with people your transformation so they'll be inspired to come learn also. God bless, have an amazing week, and I will see you next week.
Thank you for joining us. If you liked what you saw, subscribe to this channel that you'll be notified when we post new videos. Share the video with your friends, they can also benefit. And check out the website, www.kabbalah.com, that's Kabbalah, for hundreds of articles and classes. Wish you an amazing day, and God bless.